what do every man need? Yes, that becomes the question.
What does every man need? What do you think?
I think every man needs discipline, meaning every man needs principles so therefore he can be virtuous.
Mhm.
Every man needs a woman after he has a vision for himself and what his life is and how he wanted to turn out. Because I think that his woman needs to be his helpmate, his partner, right? His confidant. You know what I mean, that he can live with, build with, dream with, etc. Every man needs challenge. He needs a way to prove he is who he think he is.
Mhm.
He needs God. He needs righteousness. He needs divine order. He needs a doctrine to live, study, and carry out throughout life. He needs to train. He needs to develop his emotional intelligence so that he can rationalize his feelings and he can understand them. He needs to study his shadow self, right? He needs other men around him that will check him, right, when he's not on the right path. He needs tolerance with his past self, his present self, and his future self. You know, yeah, every man needs other men in their life to look up to so he'll know what to aspire to be and or what not to be. And ultimately he needs to love himself,
Mhm.
and he definitely needs to have a deep understanding and love for women.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree with these sentiments, Brother Keys. Men need, you know, just as important as that macro, that micro as well. So men need to be conscious of like every little decision is going to be the sum total of is how you create those big outcomes.
Mhm.
That good life, that good woman, that whatever you fill in the blank. For instance, with training, being in shape, you don't have a good day, a good workout, and you in shape. You're gonna look no different after one day or 2 days or a week, right? But after a while, you start chiseling away, carving away, creating strength, whatever. It's a bunch of little decisions every day, right?
Mhm.
Is how we get the best outcomes in life. So men need to have an understanding that we are not animals, right? The difference between us and animals is they have no concept of the future.
Mhm.
Their intelligence, their survival, everything is right now. That's not our reality, right? We've conquered survival. Like that's homeless people got bellies. You know what I'm saying? They get money put on their car, so we're not surviving. We're in a position of thriving as we should be. So we need to think about the future. So what you do today will determine what tomorrow is looking like for you. So that's what another thing that men need is to be conscious of their decisions on a regular basis
Mhm.
and employing tactics that's going to give them the most profitable outcome. So what does that mean? Like you said, training, like for real training. Many, I don't, it ain't got to be weights. It could be any kind of rigorous training, not just exercise, but rigorous training, right? I'm gonna tell you why that's important. Why I say rigorous, and that's why we were talking earlier before we started. How you said back in the day you didn't have a concept of like hitting four plates, but now you do. And I think it's so important that men are chasing hard things
Mhm.
because men that avoid difficult things, they're basically volunteering to become irrelevant. You don't want to, okay? So, you know what I mean? People for years be like, you're going to hurt yourself. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's a fascinating thing to say from a man,
Well, I mean,
you know?
think about it from a woman's perspective. Women have babies and they can die when they have babies. So for a man to be afraid of pain, right?
It's bizarre.
If you take that same mindset and you gave it to your mother, right, she would have
Right,
never birthed you because
right.
of all the things and complications that can go wrong, especially with the high mortality rate of black women inside these hospitals and what
Yes,
these
sir.
devils
Yes,
be
sir.
doing. So it's like the fear of the pain. Like people told me that my whole life. You saying like first time I worked out with you, I'm gonna try whatever I'm gonna try.
Mhm.
And thank God, You know, only thing I've ever done was like pull a hamstring. And I've hurt my lower back before, you know, but nothing crazy. It was only because I just wasn't doing something right. But every time somebody told me I shouldn't do something, you go get hurt. Don't pick up the hundreds. You understand me? Don't do 100 push-ups in 10 seconds. They didn't know what the hell they was talking about. You feel me? Because even if they did, their experience would not have stopped me, right, from figuring out what my limits are.
Yes, sir. No, that's fair. That's fair. You're a unique breed though, because you know, for whatever reason is you just are. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never trained with nobody like you to where this man has zero fear of weight. You know what I'm saying? So uh back when we was first getting down together, I didn't want you doing certain things because I didn't want to have to do it. The spot, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe in spotting. I believe in spotting to an extent of like just that little right? Or like there's an actual strategy with spotting called for force adaptation when you're doing like strength blocks. So it's like you get what you could get, and then I'll have a person do 2 or 3 extra, and I'm gonna be right there with you, so you can push past that muscle fatigue. You know what I'm saying? So what that does is it decreases the time that it takes for you to recover, right? And it's just forcing your body it's demanding more from your body. So when you're pushing yourself like that, people gotta understand this. We get into nutrition real quick. Food is just fuel. Is energy. Is like gasoline in a car. Food is fuel for the body. Now that shit will sit and become stagnant and become fat if it's not being utilized properly, right? So when you are pushing yourself, say you do 10 reps, okay, cool. But you do 12, 15, and you squeeze it out that last reps, you are requiring your body to use whatever's in your system. I need it. If you're not requiring your body to use it, it ain't gonna get used. It's gonna store as fat. So anyway, but that's just how every system works the same, right? Every system in the universe, it responds to stress, either good or bad. If good, it's a diamond. Bad is broken. It's a bust pipe. You know what I'm saying? A broken man or a powerful man. We all go through stress. So if we are avoiding pain, you're broken. You're weak. So the moment some involuntary shit pop up in your face, you're gonna fold.
Yeah, you know the gym that me and you like, the Diamond Gym. I like seeing their content.
Yes, sir.
To me, that was a normal growing up.
Yes, sir.
Because that's how FOI class was. Brothers weren't telling you about science based and stretching and none of those things. It was you got to get in there and perform the task that everybody else has got to do.
Yes, sir.
Right. So growing up as a child, going to FOI meetings, which are Fruit of Islam, military name given to the branch of the Nation of Islam here in North America, right? We would go to FOI classes since I was a youngster, and we would have to do militant drills. We would have to do boxing. We would have to do workouts. They didn't care about my age. None of that was of any consequence.
Yes, sir.
It was, and we would run around the block over and over and over. And this is like 12 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? I'm in elementary school. Gotta go to school the next day. They don't care about none of that. So I never regarded my age, my weight, my size, right? And thinking that as, oh, am I qualified or not? It was no. The men are doing it.
How old were you?
Probably since like, I want to say like 5, 6, 7, like all throughout those years.
See, geez, this is why you different. You special, right? Because I got that same thing. I had the same training, the same intensity of training when I was young. There was nobody. I was jogging every morning at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing that in school.
Yeah.
In junior high and grade school. Not even talking about high school. I'm talking about grade school. So, and it was a consistent thing, you know? So, you know, for the young fathers out there too, y'all got boys and the sisters, single moms, you got boys, they need to be out every morning doing something difficult.
Man, we've lost the art of rites of passage though. So these young men today now on social media, and I like using the term algorithmically feminized, because in order for them to gain status, and they're not outside flipping mattresses and fighting and talking to young girls in real life, and or just learning, you know, their status amongst their peers as they move and have different situations. They're saying that, damn, if I don't have a certain amount of likes and comments and I don't get aura points online, that these metrics, right, mean that I don't have status, and everybody online telling me then I can't get women, right? So now they're looking at the men and saying that, oh, he's loud, he has likes, he has status, he has attention, and attention to them is wealth. Anybody who has attention, they will listen to, right? So their generation is completely different on how they look at it, to where our generation is like, but are you a man though? Like, do you have competency? Do you have skills? Like, what do you do? And the man was always about his contribution to society and that value. And so it became skewed, because even our generation would look at a drug dealer and be like, well, the drug dealer got wealth, you got the women riding around. I remember growing up in St. Louis, the drug dealers would be riding down the street throwing money out the car. We young, didn't know nothing about it. And then they pass out packs and then got you working for them. You feel me? So that they can extend you as one of their workers. Then you grow up and be like, man, fuck all that. I'm gonna do this myself, right? And so you then want to become what? The man, right? And then you got a lot of young men who obviously their fathers are not in the household, and this man is teaching you something. And so any man that comes around you start teaching you, he becomes your father, because a father is somebody who grows you, right? So when we talk about being a father, it's not just biological at all. It's mostly psychological, because it's the one who is raising and helping you develop your mind.
The biological only matters up until you're born. That's it. That's the only contribution biology gives. Everything else is nurturing. That's whatever's nurturing the young man, the young girl, that's the father or the mother. You know?
Right. That's why Africa call it, oh man, Baba. You Baba. You know what I mean? I be Baba Keys, you Baba King. You feel me? It's simple like that. But what that also does is, even in the Quran, they say basically the uncle is like a father, right? And this is very important for us to understand as well, because every man is a role model, right? And this is where growing up, rappers, I ain't a role model. No, you're just not a good one.
Right.
You want to shirk your responsibility.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But you're a role model, because young men will look up to you regardless.
I think Keys, I could be wrong, but I think that, you know how sometimes the sentiment of the people is pretty much unanimous, right? Without everybody talking about it. I think people get tired of that I don't want to be a role model type of individual. Super rich. People like, what that got to do with me? How is you being rich helping me? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely the
you know,
the lifestyle.
The overly, the music is like, that ain't working no more. It ain't really moving the needle no more.
I think they call them bands now.
Bands?
Yeah, bitch ass niggas.
They always bitch ass niggas. You know, I like that. It's funny. I used to say that back in the day. Yeah, bitch ass niggas, fans, and you know, that, you know, felonious ass.
Just a technical term. You know?
Yeah, but it's just like, and all right, I'll keep it 100. Complete transparency from my perspective. I love music. I love rap music. I think it's so incredible as an art. I do like ratchet, raggedy music, but I like the art of it. It has to be the complexity of the lyrics. It ain't just
But you also exist in the gym, and a lot of that music is aggressive, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but just from a cultural standpoint, like, I love hip hop since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I would record the radio station, like the dope songs and all that. I love the art, the brilliance of MC putting words together poetically, on beat, with cadence, rhythm, with swag, saying funny stuff. You know what I'm saying? Manipulating grammar. They don't have a triple entendre. Rap made that. You know what I'm saying? So I like when I hear the art, and I don't care what you're talking about, because to me it's just music. But that's me. A lot of people can't listen to something and separate that from reality, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that we should be evolved to the point now where our children have a level of discernment. But we know, like, a lot of young people don't have anybody that's giving them that discernment.
Correct.
So I don't think rappers are aspirational anymore in that sense.
Right.
There are still some, right? If you go into the streets and you got the one kid that grew up blew up because, you know what I mean, he got a reputation, then he turned that into some music, and now he got a feud, you feel me? And they're like, oh, I gotta have this kind of motion in order for me to build, so that they're studying a blueprint.
Right.
And so we might be far removed from how those elements are still occurring in the streets, but it's still happening. Right. And hip hop is hypnotizing voodoo. You understand me? Like it's enchanting one into the spirit of wanting to aggressively dominate another, right? Specifically another person who looks like you.
Yeah.
The number one enemy in hip hop music is who? Black men.
Yeah.
Like,
The ops is young.
Right.
Yeah.
And who rappers hate more than anybody?
Themselves.
Other rappers.
Yeah.
A rapper
really is themselves.
A rapper hates other rappers.
Yeah.
All rappers always talk about rappers.
They hate their fans too. What song was it? He said, excuse my language, I'm just repeating the song. I fucked a broke niggas bitch. Like, why? Why you want it? Like, why you do that? Like, that's not nice. That's your fan. He broke. Like, why you do that? I think it's so bizarre, some of the shit that they say, bro.
Yeah,
I fucked a broke niggas bitch.
Right. It is the one.
That's a flex.
The artistry where you're dogging your fans. You know what I'm saying? You can't go here. It's like Drake got to a point where he only rap about things that people that's not making $1 million can't do. Like if you ain't making 6 figures, then you can't shop here. You don't know what this watch is like. You've never been to this part of the world. You could never touch a woman like this.
I be Googling some of this stuff. Like, what is this? You know, like, okay, boy, living.
There's a way to do
there's a degree
aspirational
there's a degree of aspiration to a lot of this stuff though. Like
it's flexing. It's ambition. I wouldn't even call it aspiration.
But the aspiration is going to be determined by the listener, right?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I can't take away that there's not aspiration in lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
But some of it is like, it's not aspirational in becoming more, right? Because it's more so material aspiration, right?
Yeah.
And so good aspiration, like Wu-Tang Clan was aspirational in the sense that I gotta get my knowledge up. Like these niggas is training, they traveling, like that's aspirational in the sense that Kanye West is aspirational in the sense that his music is about evolving and being a confident person and like doing anything that you want to do. Like that's a different type of aspirational that also comes with the material. Then there's a shallow kind of level of so-called aspirational that's more so, look, I have what you can't have. Envy. It evokes more envy and jealousy and make you want to be in the place of the person that is envied. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus I need to become more so I can be this type of man or woman and evolve.
I like, it's interesting, man. When I look at like, I don't really watch videos like that. It's funny, the culture is not really there no more. But there's videos, and like if I'm at a barbershop, there's videos on. And I'm just like, I'm flabbergasted that all y'all want y'all videos to look the same. It's like when you are MC or you got a platform, you have the opportunity to be 100% uniquely you.
Yeah. You
have the opportunity to create a whole vibe, a whole culture, a world, right? But people rather assimilate somebody else's world. And it's just crazy, man. It's like, yeah, that person made it, but they made it being them. Now, you can make it being somebody else too, but is that what you really want? See, here's the thing, okay? We gotta be realistic. We gotta be real, right? We gotta be real. And people gotta ask themselves,
I'm listening.
What do you believe in, right? Because people think that they believe in God. And that's like, okay, who is your God? Right? Their God is money. Most people, this is a fact. I don't care what nobody say. Most people, there's no limits to what they would and would not do for the right amount of money. Most people. Very few people will be like, man, fuck you and that money. You know what I'm saying? So we need that. Do
you think you have a number?
I don't have a number. I'm gonna fuck you and take that money. I've already done that. But I've done that from a place of like security, financial security, but also take my money away, right? I got security in this. I know I can always make money. I have a good brain, but I got security in Allah, my faith in Allah. So there's nothing, Brother Keys, like for real, when I like where I am right now in my deen, bro, nothing can bum me out. Nothing bothers me, right? I've always had this slogan, shout out to my homie Rod. We used to always say, he came up with it like only good things happen. I embrace that and embody that for me, right?
Yeah.
So no, I don't have a number, brother. It's I can't wait for somebody to try me. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait because it's more than just saying it. You know what I'm saying? I don't been through a lot. I done turned things down. I could tell you big names. Like I turned things down with alcohol sponsorships and stuff like that. Recently was a sports betting. I'm like, nah, sir. I said, bro, that's haram. We don't get down with that. So, yeah. Ain't no number for me.
I think if you have a number, and I heard somebody give a breakdown on this, and I 100% agree with it. But it's this idea of when you have a number, right? Somebody can offer you $1 billion. And I always get these hypothetical questions. People always ask me about these things. And I always say no. And you have to not have a number, because if you do, it means you already are a sellout. Right?
Well, so yeah.
That's what it means, because the opposite of that is to be willing to die for what you believe. If you're willing to die for what you believe, you have no number.
Yes, sir.
Like death is my number.
Yes, sir.
You understand me? Life is my number. Like I'm willing to die on this hill. You feel me? And there are some people, they like, man, shit, you give me that. You already a sellout, right? You're just not valuable enough for anybody to offer you anything.
Right.
You understand me? It's like a slave wanting to work for a master. Even a master won't even take, boy, you ain't got nothing that I need.
Right.
You feel me? Yeah. But people think that they are waiting to sell out. No, you are sold out as long as you have a number and you haven't decided there's something that you're willing to live and die for.
Yes, sir. That's 100%. This is why, like, people like us, they don't come with the big corporate packages. Because they already know. Some people, you know, it exudes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but I see a lot, bro. I see some strange things, bro. I've seen people like they're trying I've been on social media since 2012, right? YouTube, I think 2011, but Instagram 2012, YouTube, Facebook 2011. And I've seen people, I know people who just trying this, trying that, don't work, nothing work. And Black people, they like, fuck it, and they go the anti-Black route. I just seen another cat, and it ain't even working for him, but he's trying so hard, and it's like these pathetic talking points, right? And naming themselves the conservative, the conservative Orthodox Christian, and so violent, vehement towards his own people, right? Yeah. And I'm like, you're not even getting bread, boy. You don't believe none of this. You. If I was to sit down with this cat, I'm thinking, I would flip him right there. Like, nah, you ain't really with that. You really with this. And he'd be like, no, that's what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying? So people are so easily blown away. They blow in whichever direction the wind goes, right?
I seen that reminds me of the guy, Philip Mitchell, with the church, 319 or 2619, something like that. He filled up like the stadium out in Atlanta.
He kind of knew?
Yeah, dark-skinned brother from like Jersey or something. He got more of a street persona presence in his delivery, where he tried to be more relatable.
Yes, sir.
But there's something very sellout about this brother, because number one, he speaks almost in a political way.
He said, is he the one that said, I'm not a Black preacher or something like that?
Yeah, he said Jesus wasn't Black, right? He went out his way to say that. He tried to call Allah Satan. He didn't. But he was talking about how people, you say Jesus is Black to preach to Black people, and he was like, Jesus is not Black. And he's also somebody who went and kissed the wall.
Hold on. He said he went out of his way to say he's not Black.
Yeah, let me see how I can pull it up.
Hold on. For thousands of years, they've been trying to say that he's white. Did he not go against that? Because he's not white. He didn't give a factual breakdown or detail in anything. Okay,
but I've just seen these clips from this brother, and they weak because he tries to go against Islam and really denounce Muslims and talk shit about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Allah and things of that nature. And I'm like, who sent you?
Yeah.
Right? It's a reason that you get favor from this world. Right?
So fast. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's all recent.
And you did take that trip and you did kiss that wall.
Did he?
Yeah, 100%. Right? And this is when you start seeing people's rise. Right? And you can't tell me that he's not a sellout. And the rest of the Black folk that go in there, they so easily sold the white man's religion. Right? Easily sold puppets and so easily misled, because we're so thirsty for a leader, somebody to come save us.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus wouldn't have said none of that shit he's saying. No. And it's so weak and it's so false, and I hate it at this point. I hate a lot of these things in this world. And I really thought, going by that thing when Malcolm X said, if you don't hate it, you will tolerate it. And we live in a world where a man needs to hate this world, right? Yeah. Because look at these devils. We looking at what they do to children. These are some of the worst foul, lewd acts on the planet Earth, but they come from that. These are devils. I mean, extreme devils to the degree of satanic ritualism. No, that's a fact. Right? And here, when I was in high school, yeah, we read about these things or we watched it on YouTube and documentaries, but now we have the proof. And they've made men so weak that they're not afraid of a revolt, right? We used to do so much. You know, if you think about reasons why people would go at the system and they would have their movements, it was nowhere near the amount of proof and evidence that we have now. The conspiracy theories of the past were dangerous. Right now, they fragmented attention so much. Oh yeah. Everything becomes meaningless, infinite content loops, right? They throw out these false saviors consistently, constantly planting their puppets to pull on our strings to keep us in this space of hope. Because as long as we got a little bit more hope, right? It keeps us from revolting, keeps us from being 100% dissatisfied, right? No, give them a little more hope. That was the Obama campaign, right? And I will say this about Obama, at least he wasn't in them damn Epstein files. You understand me? All y'all bosses and the people y'all look up to, all of them is words that I can't say on this stream that I really want to. You feel me? But I'm at this point now where it's like, bro, what's the meaning of any of these things? What's the meaning of this world? People, you know, we in LA, it's Grammy weekend. I can go wherever I want to. Yeah, but it's like, why do I want favor with y'all? Why do I want favors? Y'all are the millions of the millions of the millions. Y'all not even the big dog devils. Y'all are so small, little fucking demons. Yeah. Y'all don't even mean nothing. Your music don't mean shit. Your wars don't mean nothing. Your money don't mean nothing. You go home at night and can't sleep. They're not saying they got whole platforms. They didn't want to go to church and act like that absolved. You ain't getting absolved in no sins in no church. You a devil when you walked in. You was a devil when you walked out.
Look at how brave Kanye West was. George Bush don't like black people. You feel me? So it's like you have all of these. It's like y'all pathetic, man. Like it reminds me of this. You remember a few years ago, it was a NFL team owner said some nigga shit, right? No, or was it? No, it was basketball. And then the Clippers, I think. Somebody in the chat might know. But anyway, a couple players turned their jerseys inside out. I was like, that's pathetic.
They turned their jerseys inside.
But they still got out there and played, right? Look, Muhammad Ali, he said, I will face the firing range. I'm not going to Vietcong and kill these people, these brown people, right? They stripped him of his title, took him out of his sport and his prime for 3 years. They didn't make money like that back then. You know, it wasn't until after that he made his first $1 million, right? So it's like, that's a man. And that's what people do when they stand up for what's right. Now, y'all thinking about right now in this world, Ali has been ascended for years now, but he is still at the top of the top, legendary status, right? He's still eternal. You're not eternal. You're not eternal. What, Joe Louis is not eternal. You know what I'm saying? He was a black boxer that did go do the military circuits and all of that stuff. He was looked at as, even though he was black, as a white champ. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't for us. So
Mayweather's not eternal.
He absolutely not. He blew it. He blew it.
You know what I'm saying?
He kissing the wall too.
Yeah, everybody done. Let's just be 100.
He's kissing the wall.
Mostly everybody done sold out, bro. This is why it gets so frustrating in my spirit. And I know people are always like, organize this, organize that, bro. As somebody who done traveled the world and been doing this for a very long time, it's not that many people who really with the shit. You need resources to be able to get certain things done. I'm not trying to have no mini burnout movement. No. You understand me? You go out there, you organize the people that look good, you happy something is happening, but there's no 5 to 10 year long-term effect.
But it's happening. So there's somebody in your chat right now. Every time you stream, you plant a seed in a young, ripe, powerful mind. You feel me? Say it's 1,000 people in stream, 5 of them going to run and go and cultivate that seed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is entertainment, right?
Because I talk to them other niggas, I'll be honest, them niggas with the money and shit like that, and I'm talking about a lot of money and resources.
Right.
They don't be with no shit.
No,
they talk it, but they don't really get with it.
But I'm telling you though, brother, like you're already doing it. You're planting the seed.
Yes, sir.
This is more effective anyway. You have the ability to reach millions of people. Like that.
What I want to do, what I'm building, y'all, right? The goal of building out this network is I want to control the narrative. I want to control our own stories. If you go, we used to have the Black Scholar, we had the Northern Star, right? We had the Black Star Line paper, we had the 10-point plan. The Black Panthers had their own black newspaper, Final Call, Muhammad Speaks. You understand me? Like there was The Crisis by W.E.B. Du Bois. Media plays such a central role because if you allow somebody else to control your media, you are accepting oppression. And when we subscribe to other people's right ideas on Netflix, on HBO Max, right, on Disney Plus, because Black people ain't writing those shows. Our imagination, it's like allowing somebody to come in your house and decide what food you eat. You understand me? And allowing them to feed you and you paying them to do that. You don't control your reality if you don't control the stories, right? We don't get the green light, dictate editing rooms, none of those things because Black culture is ran by white ad dollars. That's just it. And everybody needs to pay their bills, right? Everybody need to work a job. And the economy is getting worse and worse. So we're becoming more dependent on devils who we don't believe in. And you're living a meaningless, depressed, and stressed out life. And we're trying to fix Black mental health. We're not going to fix this. It's going to stay bad as long as this is the world we living in. We are cursed under a condition to suffer until we make a change. There is no amount of cognitive behavior therapy that you can do to change the condition that we are in somebody else's world. We're in assimilation. They own the fucking internet and the AI and the goddamn buildings and the water and all of this pedophile bullshit. It's like, you ain't gonna get me in no therapy to where I'm okay with that. I'd rather stay crazy in the world because when I become comfortable with this and I'm sane with this and I'm okay with this, there's something wrong with me. You understand me? And so it's supposed to irritate the spirit of any righteous individual. None of this is normal. And so as much as we want to talk about Black mental health, Black men are suffering the most because we are in a world owned by another man with his foot on our neck. You understand me? So every Black man must do what you need to train. You got to train your mind, your body, your spirit, your spirit. You understand me? You should never ever be bought. Fuck your money. You understand me? Like there's some people that's homeless I respect more than niggas that got comfortable houses, because y'all niggas are nothing, right? There's a spiritual realm, there's a material realm. In the spiritual realm, if I can look at your soul, you understand me? You lying there in the dirt with pigs. You understand me? While there's a false representation of you on this material plane, so people think you something, but when you go home and you know what you've done, you know what's in your memory bank, you know what's in that shadow when that white man put his fingers up your ass so that you can get what you got. And if it didn't happen physically, it happened spiritually, where you compromise so much of yourself that you can't even enjoy none of the things that you got from it. Because there's no reward for taking a man's integrity.
And you're not celebrated by nobody at that point either. You're a man, you're a beast of no nation because they don't respect you and you don't lost us.
100%.
So yeah, it's but see, here's the thing. I'm gonna ask you this. What's the fix?
Yes, sir.
What's the fix?
So my first program is a mentorship for young Black men. My focus is the youth, right? When we looked at what Charlie Kirk did, they gave him $4 to $10 million to get a startup, right? Because he said that I'm going to go get the youth, right? I can go evangelize, organize the young mind so that they become a political bloc in this country, and then we can control the trajectory of where America goes into the future. Organize all of these different segments across into all of these schools, which also gives us power over the funds that the presidents inside these chapters have, and they was able to turn that into $100 million to $1 billion organization, right? That's power. So what happens when we get the young Black youth and we train them up and we give them a rites of passage program and we put them into engineering, into AI, into masculine development? You understand me? And we have an ability to get the youth organized across the planet Earth, right? We start in America, then we go across the diaspora, because if you focus on the youth, now you're controlling the future. Everything we put into the young, the young minds becomes a reality in the future. A lot of these old niggas is out of here.
Right.
You understand me? But what we need from that is funding, right? So we get the proper amount of funding, then I'm ready to be on the front line for whatever. You understand me? But to go stand and do it by yourself, even the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that there are some things like David to Goliath where there are some evils in this world that you cannot defeat by yourself, right? And so for me, that's a huge part of it. If we can't get young Black men, and of course young Black girls as well, but young Black men are the most under-mentored, right? The most under-sponsored group. There's no protection networks for them whatsoever. So I want to have a goddamn million of them inside these programs that we're able to help grow and groom into proper representation so that they can control industry and things of that nature. Because the plan always got to be 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years out. Then my other thing is I can't do everything, but my goal, as we've been building out Zion, we built out a platform to where everybody telling me let's do a 1 million man march. Well, if we can't organize digitally, how we gonna organize physically? That's right. So we go on there, and if I got 1 million citizens on the platform, right, or even 144,000, that's enough to where we can start building out any alternative system that we vote on and we can build. Land, media, education, training, right? And so if I get the help to build out that Zion, then I will utilize the proceeds from that then to control narrative. You have to practice narrative warfare. Media is the most important aspect of this because we have no source of truth, don't know what to believe, and everything becomes meaningless. There's no shock value to anything because we've lost values and virtues and been demoralized. Yeah. So controlling that is the most important base. So I'm with the training, I'm with the media. You understand me? Those are my songs because I believe that the war will be won by getting into the minds of the people, right? Yes, and rooting out the devil's mind and placing in our memories, our thoughts, our futures, our ideologies.
A whole new operating system.
It has to be alternative economic systems. We're in Black History Month. They said do a boycott yesterday. I ain't doing no boycott. I'm already boycotting. I'm doing a boycott. Where's the Black businesses that I can support and support Black businesses only? And we'll rock with every other people after we get our shit together. But we can't focus on nobody else. We got to focus in-house. And I know everybody want to do this we for everybody movement that never worked, never will work, and won't work. You understand me? Find those who are ready, build with those, and then we keep moving forward. Yep. And if those people that see us moving, coming from a historical nation of people who have suffered, right, oppression for how many years, if you support us rising and liberating ourselves, then you can be an ally to this movement. But it will revolve around nobody but us.
The other groups don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Never will because it's stupid to do that.
It's
stupid
to
do
realize
that.
This, like, you cannot deny human nature. Humans by design are very tribal, right? So our tribe get weakened though because we think that they created. All right, like let's talk about this Black history, right? The word Black.
It's Black Futurist Month.
Right, but the word Black in essence, first of all, we're not Black, right? We're not a color. But let's take it on. Let's
now say Afro-American. I like that myself.
Yeah. I'm on Afro-Asiatic.
I got it from this book right here, actually.
Mm. It's I don't even it is what I'm Mike. but it's like this. Black, they've corrupted the word to such a degree. Black magic, right? Black this, Black that, make it negative. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, brother, it's all right. So anything blacklisted is looked at in a negative way.
Yeah, because
the psychology, look, the devil is very intelligent.
Yeah,
wickedly intelligent.
Deceptive science.
The technology is in abundance. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. We need to uninstall the devil's operating system and install God's operating system.
Look what they had, right? So another thing that's on the agenda list is creating our own newspaper and or magazine, something physical, right? I want it to be physical, and I want it to be contributions from our scholars and intellect, because we've made hip hop and entertainment so important and so popular in our culture
Mhm.
that we shunned everybody else. There are brilliant people in academia and science and engineering. Like the scientists of the culture should be in the forefront right now. The technologists, the thought leaders, the philosophers, that is their time to shine. Get the fucking rappers out of here. Y'all are music for the background. You're not leaders. I don't care how good your verse is, right? You don't have the intellectual capability to lead shit. And there's no disrespect. But you should also honor that as well.
Or do you? Or do you? Do you even try?
Nah, because it's 2026. If you was gonna do it, it'd been done. If you ain't did it now, I don't believe it.
Yeah, no, I like what you said about like the science behind the music, the reality of the music.
What that
Right.
say?
Black Scholar Essay Contest.
How much they was? Then this is the 60s, and they talking about 250, 150, $100. This was the young black scholars to send in, and then there was rules for the contest to where they can submit. Now imagine we had a paper like this, and I started reading this, and this is really good. You got Carmichael, Dubois, Gethers, LaRue, Sachs,
went
White,
through
Williams.
All the editors, black PhDs.
Yes.
Interesting thing about Du Bois, right? So Du Bois, they have a WB Du Bois has a what is it called? He has a section at Cambridge to where they do peer review research and whatnot and essays. So I went and got all of the rules and an essay that I wrote, I submitted. I get the big old rejection. You wanna know why? Affiliation with the Nation of Islam. And you know who the person was who emailed me to reject me?
Yeah.
Was a wall person. You know what I'm saying? One of them. The irony is in abundance. So it's like, man, and the paper was about it was about reparations, like the practical case for reparations, why it's morally right, why it's economically right, and how it will save this country's economy. You know, they have a lot of different breakdowns on why we are in the situation we are, this whole country economically, and how it can be fixed. There's nothing in place to fix it, by the way, right? And it's getting worse. The economic gap is growing. Bro, so we like the middle class is like us, like cats making, 7, 8, barely 8, you know what I'm saying? 7 figures is middle class now, and it's a small population. You feel me? The gap is getting so wide, it's ridiculous. And the only McKinsey did a whole breakdown on this, and they're recommending reparations. But they said what is going to happen? This is their people. What's going to happen without and our economy keep going the way it's going is going to be civil unrest. So those ultra wealthy, this is what they think. I have my fortress. I'm fortified. I can hire private security. No, you can't, because they poor too. You're food to them now.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And that's happening. And regardless, who wants to live like that?
Yeah.
Who wants to live with armed security every day and this and you can't do nothing by yourself? You ain't a man if you gotta live like that. You're a coward. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? He's your protector. He protects your wife, your kids. So it's just this country, brother. It is what it is. When Rome fell, the people didn't know it. They was at the Colosseum watching lions eat men. You know what I'm saying? The same thing is happening right now. It's no different. This empire is falling. It's collapsing. And people are, oh, why you live here? Shut the fuck up. I live here. I'm born here, motherfucker. I didn't ask to be brought here. So, because that's how people's minds like, why are you complaining?
Well,
I'm complaining
because that's dumb shit,
I'm complaining because I'm complaining.
Yeah.
It's a lot to complain about.
There's a lot of white people that live here as well. Where they gonna go to Europe?
It's just a silly thing to say that they throw out there, But
Let's send the Italians back to Italy and the Irish back to Ireland and the Portuguese back to Portugal.
They can't go back to UK, motherfucker. That's where
what I'm saying.
Yeah. But no, it's
America is expensive as hell though.
It is. No, there's a lot of issues here, bro.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
We live in California, and California don't make no goddamn sense. One
bedroom apartment, four bands.
It's shivering out there everywhere else. We ain't shivering right now.
We got the 80.
We got good weather. I will say
February 1st, 80 degrees.
So everybody needs good weather in this life.
And you need Angela Davis.
Man, straight up. Listen, it is imperative that, kind of leap forward and kind of think about the future right here. And I definitely believe in Black futurism, Afrofuturism. That's what I would call it. I am liking the word Afro a lot. You understand?
Mhm.
Because there's no connotative negative attached to it whatsoever. You know, but if we're thinking about Afrofuturism in a sense of direction and building, because that does become the question. It's not a lack of plans. It's now just about resources, and I know what the next stage is just kind of going on the front of the people in the building, right? Saying, look, this is the help I need, this is what I want to build, and see what gathers. I know that's my next stage of what I need to do, like right now, right? Which is why I'm putting up this plan. And I've had some people reach out to me. And so the goal over the next 30 days, inshallah, because even as you're building, no matter who you are, you still got to take care of your own
Yes,
bills.
sir.
You got to pay your own people. You got to set up your own life also. But all these things are still aligned with the meaningful service that I want to have to my community,
Yes, sir.
right? Because I am for
That
human
you are
liberation.
having, you're not one.
Yeah,
You are
I
having.
am having. I am for human liberation
Mhm.
because I think that unless we are all liberated, there will be no true liberation. We have to cut ourselves off like Wakanda. But even the war came to Wakanda's doorstep in the fictional, because no matter what, this planet has to go through a shift of consciousness. Because
A purging.
yes,
Yeah.
there's no way forward where I see humanity in a state of peace, right? And
Not at this trajectory.
not at this trajectory at all. Something has to give.
Yes, sir.
And we are in the age of Aquarius, and it's not going to happen with a lot of our generation. And that's why the shift needs to go to the younger generation, because you have to think about what this is like for them. As we grew up hearing about the Illuminati, they grew up having proof, right? And so they're in
it's not
high
even,
school.
but the problem is not even shocking no more.
It might not be, but it changes how they will forever see infrastructure. They will never believe in the government. They never had an opportunity to even see a well-working government at all.
Yeah.
The world that we knew before them doesn't exist in their mind. It's a museum, right? There was a presidential decorum, you understand me, in previous ages, and there was some level of trust in a government, even for people who dealt with the worst oppression from the government.
Sure.
Now, this younger generation will have zero, and I mean zero. They will try to get them to become a political movement, but it won't work ultimately. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't, because as much as we want to, listen, I'm cool with everybody that want to fight that political fight. You want to take the House, you want to take the Senate, eventually you want to get the presidency and all of that shit, right? Fine. However that works in a larger scheme of things, I'm good with. But there's something at a much deeper level, because if we don't embed ourselves in the infrastructure of the world in a way that is going, we will still be stuck. We will be stuck even in a good world as slaves. You understand me? I want them to be masters, right? And so alternative economic building, I don't care if it's hard. I don't care if we fail, right? I just want us to try. Don't tell me shit about the past.
Sure.
We learned from that. Sure, they didn't tear shit down, but at least they built something up.
Right.
That makes them better than us. Right? So I would rather go through the pain of having something destroyed rather than the pain of never seeing something built.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, that's on point, brother. That's like right and exact. And I think the foundation to all of this is, first thing in the Nation of Islam is knowledge of self.
Yes, sir.
The acquisition of knowledge of self and wisdom and understanding, right? And for real, like, the past couple of years, man, I've been talking a lot about Islam and the principles of it, because the benefits to each person subscribing to these rules and these laws, it's voluminous and it's immediate. So if a person has his spirit and his mind, his heart intact, they're going to be guided right properly in the direction that they need to be going. Listen, spirit means breath. That's the literal translation of spirit. It's the Latin word spiritus, and it means breath, the animating force of life. It's all practical. In Islam, everything is practical. It's all mathematic and scientific. So, there's guidelines and rules for every single thing. There's no guesswork. So for us to embrace these teachings, you're going to have an elevated experience with life, and you're going to be drawn and connected with alike people.
Yes, sir.
So I think that a huge the foundation that people need to be dealing with is themselves, is right here. It's a lot going on out in the world, but we got to be right. Each man has to be right. We can't be a team on a unified front if your house is messed up, it's not in order. You know what I mean? So it's better for any of y'all out there, take a step back, get off the front line. Well, no, get on the front line, because the front line is you. You know, we were talking about activism earlier and how, you know, there's people that, you know, their hearts are in a good place, their intentions are in a good place, but they're not stable in their own lives, in their own worlds, and they're trying to help out everybody else. That is foolish, and that's not what God prescribed for us. You know, in the Quran, we have to be solid with ourselves and our families before we can go out and do for anybody else.
Mhm.
See, these rules are in this book. It teaches you that. So, you know, yeah, get your mind right, your heart right, your body right, your spirit right, man, for real.
So, brother, I appreciate you, man. Can we let's end this off, you know, talking about what every black man needs to do in the future, you know, as far as how to prepare for his future, you know, and I'll start it off with we all need to have a plan. Sit down, some serious time, grab your children, your homies, your girl, wife, family, whoever you have, and sit down and just have a planning session. Think about where this world is going, prepare to survive and prepare to thrive, and then prepare to evolve. Survival is very important during these times because we are not sure where things are going. And a lot of that uncertainty comes from our lack of planning, taking in the data of the present and saying that based on where things are, we have our projections, we have our simulations, right? And from there, we should be able to make our own plans. And so we really need to sit down and plan. Every man needs a plan, and that plan should be a 10-year plan. And if you don't know what that is, first start by asking yourself questions, right? And you have to use a bit of your imagination here because the 10-year plan does not have to be rational whatsoever, right? But it does have to be a plan. And a plan to a point of mathematical, right? To where you can get to this goal or get to this vision. And I don't want a small goal. I don't want small plans because oftentimes when we shrink our identity, and that shrinks our imagination, which shrinks our reality to fit our identity. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the black man was God, he gave that black man such an aspirational identity that he freed him from the chains of restraint. He freed him for this chains of shrinking himself to fit in the world. And it told him that you can and are anything that you want to be, right? And so he has to focus on a plan that means something to him. And that meaning should be connected to your identity, right? And finding that meaning and finding that identity, number one, does come from knowledge of self, of studying who you are, right? Where you came from, yes, and where you want to go, right? And this is where it gets to a level of cognitive alignment. And so if you have a friend group, you have people that you're with and they're not willing to plan with you, y'all don't have a future together.
Yes, sir.
Right? If you have a woman, she's not willing to plan with you, y'all don't have a future together. You have family, and y'all can sit down and plan, y'all don't have a future together. So why waste time together? Every man needs a plan, a vision, a meaningful thing that he can do in his life until he arrives to that point where he needs to create a bigger plan.
Yes, sir. Brother, I'm just soaking up what you just dropped. So, you know, I'm gonna leave it on that. It was perfect. It was perfect, bro, for real.
Thank you, man.
That is real, man. These things work. These things are real. People will listen, like that's real, but then they're not gonna go plan anything. People don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. That's why things don't turn out right in your life. So one thing that I do with the community, my group, is I have them do what's called a declaration of truth every year in December for the next year. And what that is like writing out, you're declaring your truth. Think about a declaration. the Declaration of Independence. A declaration is not an affirmation. The declaration is like, we write this down, we stamp it as law, and we'll fight for it, die for it, right? That's how serious your life plan needs to be, your plan. So what I have them do is write out, I give them a template of mine, everything, like everything, bro, body, how much, what's your body fat gonna be this year? You know, all of the things, right? A relationship, your friendship circle, business, wealth, whatever, and write it out in detail, and also be very vivid with how you explain it. Because the more you write and the more vivid you make the target, the bigger the target is, the easier it is to hit. And then the practice is this: you go through it every morning and visualize it, and then go on about your day, but you align your actions and your decisions with your list, right? How can one build a house without a blueprint? So this is a blueprint to your life. It's not the life that you desire, that you need, is not going to just come by accident. Okay. I guess unless you're banking on hitting the lottery or whatever, but even then, what you going to do with it? Anyway, we eliminate all of the guessing. You eliminate all the guessing by writing your life out, how it is to be for this next 12 months. And you walk into that. Look, all possibilities already exist.
Yes, sir.
It's just whatever you choose to walk into, whichever outcome that you want. You got to do it. It's a decision. It's so simple, but it's so hard. It's hard because people are such chemical robots doing the same thing over and over and over and don't want to change their behavior. But if you want the same outcome, keep doing the same thing. It's simple. It's so simple, y'all. So yeah, I could get into it, but I'm not. About like my last year's list, how I intentionally changed so many things and hit off the most important things on my list just by changing my behavior, aligning my decisions with what I wrote down. And in Islam, it's called niyya. It's called setting your intentions. Everything that we do as Muslims, we're supposed to set our intentions. If you're setting your intentions before everything you do, you're going to do a good job at it. You know, you're going to be mindful when you're doing it. Listen, bro, you're supposed to set intentions before making wudu, before we pray. There's time that I'm just in there. I'm like, I didn't set my intentions. I reset. I straight up reset. Because everything in Islam too, this is what I love about this beautiful faith, is like, it's teaching you how to act in the real world. The reverence you have for Allah, you should have for your brother and your sister. It's teaching you, it's training you for doing everything else. One of the brothers, we was working out, and we was doing squats, and he got up under the bar all crazy. I was like, bro, what you doing? I said, what are we supposed to do before anything we do? He's like, damn, you're right. So my intentions. He sat back, got his mind right, and boom. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. So that's it. These are little things, but a lot of little things, it adds up.
We can do a whole show on intentions.
Yes, sir.
I got a cold breakdown.
Yes, sir.
I definitely will leave it at that for now. Y'all tap in and tune in to the next episode. This is King and Keys, man. We locked in for some of these conversations. You understand me? And it's Black History Month, so we talking to our people.
It's black. It's black.
Black future
existence at all times.
Yeah.
If you black, even if you ain't black, because it will benefit you as well. What's good for us is good for everybody.
This is really dope right here.
This is fire.
This is what I want to do. Yup.
This is fire. I wonder where they at? What happened to them?
I was thinking about that too. They had the first Pan-African Cultural Festival. See, this what I gotta do. I need the blackest festival in the world.
We created, because we would know it if it existed. Excuse me.
Would y'all, if I did something like one of these, and we had this physically delivered to your door every single month, would you buy in? You know what I mean? On a month-to-month basis. How you join Zion? You can go DM me the word Zion on my Instagram. Platform is already built. We are making improvements to it as we go along. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. You said if I met my intellectual match. I'll take a couple of questions, I guess. Intellectual match. I don't really know what that means, but yes, I mean, high level conversations is a show about me meeting my intellectual matches. You understand me? I'm having conversation with people who, in a lot of ways, are smarter than me in their areas, right, of expertise, which is the reason I want to have these conversations in the first place. I am not the most intellectual person in the world. I'm not the smartest man in the world. None of those things. There's some things in the world I'm probably am the best in the world at, but the point of having these conversations is to sharpen, is to contribute dialogue that is meaningful to the world, that helps the intentional mind develop. And having long form content is important because it allows you to synchronize with the message long enough. We have this consistent short burst of disruption, and scrolling is the devil's machination. You feel me? And so, yeah, I think every single time I sit down and talk with somebody, right? Whether it's my brother Dr. Wesley, my brother Nuri Muhammad, Baba Heru, rest in peace to the legend, Baba Kamane, my brother Mike Rashid, my brother Keenan Beasley. Like, I mean, I can go on and on. I sat down here with Cornell West. Like when you talking about intellectual match, like these are powerful men. I had Queen Afua on here. Like, come on now, stop playing. I've had scientists, biologists on here, so I've had some of the top people in the world in their fields. I am not the smartest person on my show. I'm bringing the smartest people on my show.
And
So,
maybe that brother should shift how you think a little bit, because for one to consider themselves on such an intellectual status is to be fixed with where you're at, and knowledge and wisdom and one's intellect is not a static situation. It is forever moving, it's forever fluid. Just us as humans, our brains are always changing. You keep reading, you keep engaging in intellectual rigor, you will become what they consider smarter. Your brain will be more elastic, more plastic, more neuroplasticity. So there's no fixed boom. All right, I'm here. I'm at the smartest level. There is no highest level, right? We can always strive to be better, to be wiser. But if we don't use it, you start sliding down,
yeah.
start having a mental atrophy.
Bro, one thing about AI shows you how much there is. There's an infinite amount of information.
Mhm.
And information is the lowest level, right?
Yeah.
Information, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
You need
And
the whole, yeah.
most people, like, we have a world that has, we have a lot of information, but not a lot of execution. We have minimum wisdom in this world today,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
There's almost no guidance, no wisdom. And I'm still young. I have yet to reach my formidable wise years, right? In a lot of ways, I'm still on the field. You understand me? I'm a general, still moving for the cause. So I have not had those years of really sitting into them gray whiskers and just reflecting, because wisdom requires time. It requires one to be able to reflect a lot. And I'm in it. I've been moving. I've been traveling the world. I've been executing, so I'm not there yet. And then you have understanding. In all religions, right? They all agree that understanding is the highest degree,
Mhm.
right? And we have a world where we understand little, right? But we know a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Knowledge for the sake of knowledge is pointless.
Yeah.
It's just information.
Yeah.
What you gonna do with that information?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, we did talk about having a Black community hike on the 19th of this month in LA. So inshallah, we can make that happen. If you're in LA, tap in. I just hit up some of my peoples that can try to make this happen. I want to have a huge Black community hike. I want to do actually a list of things throughout the month of February, and where we have like a Black Futurist Lab Day, where I need all the Black nerds to show up. We're only talking technology, science, AI, things that we're building and developing. I need the smartest and the brightest minds in the culture. I want a philosophy day where we only talking about Black philosophy. You understand me, for the future. We can have a political day where we talk and we have a political debate. We can have a black coffee day. We just meet up to have coffee. We can have a black walk, run, workout, train, bench. You understand me? Push up day, whatever. I just really want to interact with the black community, man.
Yes, sir. No, it's going down.
And that's why I love this much, because I can talk like this and then get a bunch of hating ass niggas. What about us? This ain't y'all motherfucking money.
This is what we're gonna do too. We kick it off, but this don't stop. This don't stop.
Nah, this is a rev of the engine.
We live this for real, every day.
Yeah.
So we just trying to like reinvigorate people to do the same.
So peace to the family, peace to the gods. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time.
What platform you got?